Hello everyone, I'm Derek Johnson, CEO at Aurora WDC. Jim Mathews is the gold standard in the intelligence profession. Aurora has established an award in Jim's honor, but sadly Jim passed away before he could witness its introduction. I'm joined today by colleague Dan Mulligan, Department of Intelligence Studies at Mercyhurst, as well as Arik Johnson and Craig Fleisher. Let's learn more about Jim and the example he set for all of us. I know Jim has made a lasting impact on a lot of us here at the table. Jim spent over 30 years in the defense industry, and the last 14 of which in the competitive intelligence price to win or PTW segment. His entire career was focused on helping his organizations win new business. That for me was a classic example of how Jim's been able to pair up strategic and tactical intelligence and insights for helping his companies succeed. Now, Dan, we all have many memories of Jim. What was your first memory of Jim Mathews?
I first met Jim at a SCIP conference, and I was very impressed immediately upon meeting him at his enthusiasm to share his knowledge with young people and people entering into the industry. He hadn't seen me before at a conference, and instead of hoarding his knowledge, he immediately graciously offered advice on how to go to different sessions and which ones I'd want to listen to and who I should try to introduce myself to and meet. And he wanted to meet the students that were there with us, and he just wanted to share his passion for doing intelligence. And that's what impressed me the most when I first met him.
Craig, you're a longtime academic in this industry. Talk to us, if you would, about the impact that Mercyhurst and Dan's institution has had on our field.
You know, Mercyhurst has had a program in intelligence study that goes back to the early 1990s. It's one of the very few that has been able to sustain a program of this nature as long as this particular one has. Not just that they have a great program, which they do, which is not only unique and valuable in the scope and in the kinds of content that it addresses. The students at Mercyhurst have for many, many years been participating in SCIP events. It's very frequent that you will run into Mercyhurst students at SCIP annual exhibitions like the ones that we're talking about. And again, these students find it a very key part of their professional development to go to those meetings and to learn, to network, to grow, to meet some new people. And it's been something that, again, Mercyhurst probably better than any other college in our community has been able to help the next generation of intelligence professionals do.
Arik, what's your greatest memory of Jim?
You know, I remember so many years ago when Aurora was first entering the aerospace and defense sector, we turned to Jim, and you may remember buying him breakfast that morning at one of those meetings and asking him if he would be a mentor to us and to help us to really figure out how to enter the market, how to best structure our business, how to best serve those clients who have very, very different needs and unique needs from most other industries. And Jim was a real mentor to Aurora in helping to put together our own aerospace and defense sector practice. I think it's a real statement for Aurora to give back to what Jim has given us by so enthusiastically supporting the continued development of intelligence professionals at institutions like Mercyhurst and beyond, and really allowing Jim's example to live on and to be something that we can all look towards as we work to become more effective intelligence professionals.
So what I'll always remember about Jim Mathews is that he had the love for this conference paired with a real enthusiasm and encouragement for young people, that when you think about what Jim Mathews' memory is going to be, it's going to be able to help young professionals go to the conference, use it as a venue and mechanism for learning in the intelligence industry. And I think that, Dan, is going to be something that I would imagine your students are going to be very excited about.
Absolutely. It's not just a role model of unparalleled results and superb ethics. It's the role model of being a professional analyst that can provide those unparalleled results and not couple it with a huge ego that needs credit for it.
Right.
It's an analyst who is truly interested in the results and in doing a professional job so that the organization and the decision makers can be more successful.
and uncompromised integrity and ethics alongside it, right?
Absolutely.
I can remember a story that broke Jim up when he told it to me. He talked about a particular PTW engagement that he was a part of, and he felt that a member of his team had obtained some information and insights in a less than ethical way, at least according to Jim's standards. And he went through a process which ultimately ended in a termination for this one individual. And sadly, that left a mark on Jim. He was very disappointed that he had to do that, but it was a classic example of how Jim never let the results and the process get in the way of maintaining an always high level of integrity and ethics within his